Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my 9th iteration of my Fire Necromancer. I have to say, I think this is the best yet. I fine-tuned it, I've tweaked it, we have made lots of changes, and it feels really good. Now, as always, everything is timestamped in the description below. On top of that is the advanced loot filter and advanced build guide. And the build guide has best in slot gear, not the crappy gear that I am currently wearing. I get that question all the time. They don't match. It's because I put the gear I wish I had in the advanced build planner. On top of that, there's over 15 builds in the description if you are looking for something different that are viable for 085. Now, before we begin, okay? You probably already know what I'm gonna say, that I have officially started a Patreon. It's how I make all of this possible. All the likes, shares, comments, and subs, I appreciate all of that. It does help push the channel forward in 2022. But if you wanna take one extra step, first link in the description to become an Action RPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content. I would really appreciate it. It's how I keep everything running. All right. Let's jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm going to be using are Dreadshade, Summon Skeleton, Summon Skeletal Mage, Summon Bone Golem, and Summon Wraith. Skeleton, Mage, and Golem are permanent summons, so you never have to worry about re-summoning them unless they get killed. Wraiths, you can make 8, and obviously these are the new, visually improved, very good looking Wraiths, and they shoot fire as well. And then the newcomer to the build, or really I guess I should say, I've brought back a skill that I used in the past, is Dreadshade, and this will also frenzy all of your minions, make them attack quicker with improved attack speed, and give them more damage, all right? So I made the decision to take out zombies, but put in Dreadshade so our minions are stronger, okay? Now, one thing that does stink about this build is anytime you really want to be a Necro, and lead an army of the dead, you cannot have a movement skill. So, I mean, obviously you will clear areas fast, you will leave no stragglers, so it's easy to get your stability bonuses in monoliths, and it's easy to level. This character's been level 100 for a long time, but I mean, there's really no way to put transplant in here to be able to have a movement skill. So that's just the way it is. But it's fire. I'll take the long way around. So when you have your max minions up, you will have 19, 8 wraiths, 5 large skeletons, 5 mages, and 1 golem. Give me that. I know a lot of times I'm not even paying attention to the fight because minions kill everything. This is the 9th iteration of my Fire Necro. Give me that. Fire is my favorite when it comes to Necromancer because it scales perfectly. Skeletons shoot fire arrow, mages shoot fire, wraiths are fire. Oh, this could be trouble. I'm in trouble. Nope. Dead. Our stability's at 24. That's fine. Okay, so that's a run. Let's fight the Shade of Oribus. Shade of Oribus, right now this is corruption level 200. No, it's not that high. It's just where we're at right now, but at least gives you a little bit of an idea of a fight with the boss.
Destruction.
Pretty simple. Kind of sit back and don't get hit. Bad example. Eat him. Light him up. Don't jump on me. Just die, you shade of Oribus. So not too bad. I mean, obviously you're a necromancer, you are a little more squishy, but for this build, you're gonna have max resistance, you're gonna focus on endurance, crit avoidance, and damage reduction. So you are going to be able to take a hit, as you could see throughout that fight. Let me show you how to recreate this build. Starting off with skills, and the first skill we're going to talk about is Summon Wraith. Now on here, I have 24 points into this skill, and actually you have 1 point wasted. So I'm going to show you what you can do with this skill. There is 2 options, all right? Now the way you want to go is you want 2 into Grave Reality, 4 into Delay the End, 1 into Spirit Link, 3 into Dawn of the Fall, 3 into Dust of the Living, 4 into Wraithbringer, 2 into Flame Wraith, 1 into Fallen Reclamation, and 2 into Covenant of the Souls. Okay? This will make your Wraiths pretty much as strong as possible with them moving and following you. Now what I mean by that is if you summon one and you run, it will follow and kill stuff with you. But those 2 extra points, if you want, all right, you can take them and take these 2 nodes, Locus of Resurrection and Locus of Death. Now, if you do that, your Wraiths cannot move. So now they are stationary turrets that shoot. But when you make the decision to do that, obviously you have to summon them more often, but they will do 100% more damage. This is literally just your Wraiths are hitting for almost 40,000 when they crit. That was 44,000. Really, really strong. And again, there's 8 of them. Oh, they're still alive. Oh, Dreadshade's keeping them alive. And oh yeah, they're staying alive a really long time. Oh, now they're starting to die because Dreadshade's gone. Okay. So that is your choice. If you want them to follow you, you could take these extra 2 points, put 1 into Fallen Reclamation, so there's 2, and then 1 into Blades, which gives a little poison chance, but doesn't really do anything. It's a free point. Okay, your choice. Moving over to Summon Skeletal Mages. You want to have 5 points into Grave Tide. Come down, 5 points into Cellar Mortis, 1 point into Order of Death, 3 points into Grey Merchant, 1 into Pyromancers, 1 into Inferno, then pop up here, 4 into Splintered Dominion, 4 into Speed. Now, for this build, since we are using Dreadshade, you actually save the Frenzy points because your mages no longer have to frenzy themselves because Dreadshade frenzies for them. So it gives you some extra points to put into Splintered Dominion, so they always fire more projectiles. Okay. Summon Bone Golem. This has been a staple minion for my Fire Necro for probably all 9 iterations. Doesn't matter how much they nerf him, it is still so good. Why is that? Because it's a meat shield that generates threat and makes your minions stronger by giving more armor and makes your minions faster. So you want 5 into AOS, you want 5 into unnatural speed, 4 into unnatural speed, 4 into Tower of Bones, 5 into AOP, and then 2 into Hunger. This just gives you a little bit of life back when the Golem actually hits. Very good skill, very easy. You can put it pretty much in any Necro build. Moving over to the newcomer, Dreadshade. And this has also been a skill that has been very strong ever since it has been out. The way you want to take it is you want 4 into Spectral Presence, 1 into Lone Watcher. This makes it where you can only have 1 shade, but it no longer drains the health of the minion it's on. Very important. 3 into Dying Coven, attack speed, cast speed. 4 into Grim Fate, make the area as big as humanly possible with damage, and you don't have to worry about health decay because Lone Watcher gets rid of the health decay anyways. Then 2 into Wisdom of Dead, 1 into Martyrdom, 1 into COS, and 4 into Frenzied Phantom. Putting 5 into Frenzied Phantom is not needed because you're casting Dreadshade so often. So this 4 points will keep Frenzy on your minions literally all the time, okay? But I mean, if you're worried about duration, you could pull 1 out of Grim Fate and put it here, but I like having the extra damage and the extra area, okay? Cast speed, attack speed, frenzied, and gives more damage. Huge buff to the build. Okay, and on top of that, it's actually going to give more armor to your minions as well, because you are going to have a decent amount of vitality. Last but not least, Summon Skeleton. Oh, Summon Skeleton. Great leveling skill, okay? For Summon Skeleton, you want 5 into Unholy Rage, 1 into Lone Guardian, 1 into Mightier Than the Sword. This gets rid of those pesky sword skeletons. 1 into Fire Arrow, makes it so they shoot fire. 1 into Morrow Walkers, 5 into Necro Conviction, 1 into Hollow Walkers, 1 into Dread, 2 into Morrow Tap. This actually does give them some health leech, which keeps them alive. 3 into Unbound Necromancy, and 1 into Grave Walkers. Now, Dread makes it where you can have 50% less skeletons, okay? Their size is bigger though, but they do 80% more damage. Now, if you did not take Dread, you can make 9 skeletons. If you take Dread, you can make 5 big skeletons, okay? So you actually get a 1 skeleton discount. Does that make sense? So if you had plus 10 skeletons, you're still gonna get 5 big ones. But in here, if you have 9 skeletons, it rounds up and still gives you that 5th big one. Makes a lot of sense to me. Take it, it'll help give them more damage. Okay, those are the skills. Moving over to passives, and again, right now my character is level 100. This is a maxed character, and we have made some tweaks. You want 8 into Forbidden Knowledge, 8 into Stolen Vitality, 5 into Dark Ritual, and 1 into Soul Aegis. This is going to give your minions more armor. It's going to give them more cast speed and attack speed. Going to give you more vitality and health for your minions. And then, of course, intelligence and resistance. We used to put some points into Apo for intelligence and mana regen, but we don't need that right now. Warlock isn't unlocked, and then 91 points into Necromancer. You want 8 into Risen Army, 5 into Grave Thorns, 5 into Blood Armor, 10 into Mortal Tether, 1 into Unbound Necromancy, gives you +1 to skeletons, and then you just kind of go right around the rainbow right here. So you want 5 into Effigies, 5 into Fantic Summons, 5 into River of Bones, 10 into Heresy, skip this one. We do like Critical Strike Multiplier, but since we are literally not doing anything cold, it just isn't worth spending the points here. So then you want 10 into Rite of the Undead, 10 into Moonlight Pyre, 1 into Disciplines of the Necromancy, 4 into Empty Graves, 8 into Cling to Life, 3 into Tyrant, and then 1 into Tyrant's Legion. Now, if you don't take Tyrant's Legion, you will only be able to make 4 of the bigger skeletons, okay? So you really need that 1 point in there to make maximum number of skeletons +1. You don't care about the physical penetration, and you don't care about the poison penetration, but it gives you 1 extra large skeleton, so it is definitely worth the point. I have redone this passive tree so many times. I feel like it is at the best point ever because you don't want Veins of Malice, which is what most people take to get Frenzy and Haste on their minions. But again, I don't care about Haste, and Frenzy is done through Dreadshade, so you save another 5 points. Those are the passive. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with idols. And this is the idol I always tell people you have to hunt for because it makes such a big difference for the build. 43% chance to summon a Flame Wraith instead, and 8% minion chance to apply Mark of Death on hit. Literally, that 8% might as well say 100% because you have so many minions hitting the enemies that you will always see Mark of Death on them, okay? So that's going to take their resistances down and give you a chance to make Flame Wraiths. I have 1 there, and the other one is Minion Critical Strike chance and chance to summon Flame Wraith. That's why every single time I make a Wraith, it is always Flame because it is over 100%, which is what we want. All the other idols are fire damage. 70% fire damage, 68% fire damage, 71% fire damage, 65% fire damage, okay? Those are the idols, pretty easy. Those are the only 2 you really want to look for. Now, when it comes to gear, there is no required uniques for it, but there are uniques that are good, okay? So let me explain. So for the amulet, it's gonna give you some resistances. It is going to give your minions better critical strike chance, and it's going to give you +2 to fire minion skills, okay? I like using this. It honestly is not required because the fire critical strike chance is a waste, the fire damage leech's health is a waste, and the increased leech rate is a waste. You are literally only using this for your minions crit and your minion skills. Still good with the resistances, but if you do not have the hunger, what you can is you can just get a regular amulet. It's going to give you minion damage, minion critical strike chance, minion health, and other, health or resistance, whatever you find on it. At times, sometimes I actually switch it out if I don't feel like I need the skills, okay? So either or in the amulet section. The other one is Raven's Rise. Now this is a pretty good unique. It's going to give you resistances as well. It's going to give you increased minion speed. It's going to give minions take less damage while moving. It's going to give spell minion skills +2 and then lightning and necrotic resistance. So for the gloves, you will literally use every single affix there is. They're pretty good, best in slot, but if you do not have Raven's Rise, no big deal. You could just use regular gloves that are going to give you minion health and minion damage. You'll notice it a little bit, but the build is still totally viable if you have 0 uniques. Okay? And my gear for this character isn't good. I keep switching everything out. It isn't even that good. Okay. We're gonna go one by one, starting with helmet. You want to try and find something that has an implicit for 15% adaptive spell minion or adaptive damage for minion spells. Very important. And then life, crit chance. This is the newcomer for Catalyst. This is gonna give you intelligence, minion damage, and minion health. And then of course you wanna find one that also has minion damage and minion health. Armor, critical strike chance for skeleton mages, and then vitality, health. And it gives endurance, lots of survivability on your armor. Scepter. This can be very hard to find, okay? You can use Reach of the Grave if you have not found one like this. Reach of the Grave is actually still really, really good. But on here, you can get cast speed, you can get spell mana cost reduction, and you can get minion spell damage with an implicit that gives you increased minion damage, okay? Ring, minion damage, mana regen. Belt, minion damage, mana regen. Ring, minion health, minion damage. Catalyst, this has an implicit of 80% minion fire damage with minion damage with cast speed. Boots, just vitality, movement speed. And then you already saw the gloves. That is the gear. Now I want to quickly add a new section into my build guides, and that's leveling, because I get asked all the time, Aaron, okay, I see what to do when I hit level 100, but how do I get there, okay? Now, if you're just starting from level 1, all right, it's normally really easy to get the first 10 levels. Necro has probably the best low-level unique weapon there is, and that is Reach of the Grave. Legitimately. If you can't find a good scepter, this wand is almost as good. And if you can find one with legendary potential, it is actually the best in slot for this. Your minion spells and bow attacks deal 117 increased damage. Your minions leech 10% of that damage back to themselves, increase minion bow attack speed, increase minion cast speed. And this is almost a perfectly rolled one, but it is a really, really, really good wand, and you can use it at level 5. Level 5. Okay, so if you are leveling this build, you want to use Reach of the Grave, okay? And then you just want to throw in 2 circuits. This is what I always do. This is just going to make you run faster and your minions run faster, and it's going to give your minions armor so they don't die, okay? So throw on 2 of these rings. They're required level 0. You can put them on right at the beginning of the game, and a Reach of the Grave. Obviously, if you don't have those, you're just gonna have to find wands if it's like literally your first character, but if it is your second character, I bet you already have this stuff in your stash, okay? And then just anything you find along the way, like you don't really have to worry about anything else, use those 3. That will get you a big chunk of your way leveling. Now, what skills do you actually use? You want to take Summon Skeletons, okay? And then in your passive tree, once you have 10 points into Acolyte, you're gonna unlock Summon Bone Golem, all right? So what you want to do is you wanna take Summon Skeletons, summon Bone Golem, and then probably summon Viatal Zombie, because you do want to take minions as you are leveling. It'll make your experience much better. And then for your right click, just use Harvest, because still gonna have to go around and whack people for a while. So right click, use Harvest, summon Skeleton, summon Bone Golem, summon Viatal Zombie, and then as you unlock Necromancer, the first thing you want to do is get Summon Skeletal Mage. By that point, you will have 4 summons. That should take you through the end game, and you should be able to start getting into the actual build guide. That's what I would do. Now let's break down the character sheet. Like I said, this character is level 100. Right now we have 33 points into intelligence, 46 points into vitality, movement speed 32. Every single resistance is maxed, other than I need a little bit of fire resistance. I do have an item that I can switch on that'll give me fire resistance if I need it, but I lose life, so I'd rather just work on that one as we go along. Block, we don't care about. Armor, we don't care about. Ward, a little bit, that we're just getting from our intelligence. But this is what you want to see. This is the minion chart, okay? So on here, yes, that number is correct. Increased minion fire damage, 1101%. 1101. Wow! On top of that, our increased minion health is 643, crit chance 15, and this isn't a true 15, it's much higher than this because it's not going to take the increased crit chance you have through the skill trees of your individual minions. And then minion increased critical strike chance 258. Damage wise, it's an absolute beast. Last but not least, the training dummy. Check this out. Go get him. Oh, you don't do that much damage. You probably need some skeletons to help you. Go get him. See, look at that. Crits every single time. Nah, that's not enough damage. Let's throw some mages up. They'll help. Go get him. Ooh, that's better. No. That's still not enough firepower. Let's get some wraiths up to help. Ooh, that's better. No. Still not good enough. That is some serious damage. All right, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and improved Fire Necro? Let me know in the comment section below. Like I said at the beginning of the video, the #1 way to keep me full-time is my official Patreon. Thank you to the first 34 people that have signed up. I am able to make this content because of you. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. I would really appreciate it. Helps push the channel forward in 2022. On top of that, if you haven't had a chance to join the official Action RPG Discord, please do so. We're approaching 1,500 members, great conversations every day. The idea is to create a gaming community that could jump from game to game together, so you never start the server alone. Link for that Discord is also in the description with 20 viable build guides for 085. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.